Everybody, Adam Phillips here for Dynamite Entertainment, and I'm here today with writer Fred Van Lente, who is going to talk a little about Dynamite Never Dies and the whole die exclamation point Namite. Yeah, no, it's like, how do you pronounce that? Saga.
I do it. I pronounce it literally exactly how you did.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
Die
cool.
exclamation point Namite.
Very cool. So, um, the last two projects, at least the last two miniseries, have been just a smorgasbord of crazy characters interacting and stuff. And I know that continues into the new series. You want to tell us a little about that?
Yeah, it's been fun because I Dynamite. I'm lucky to work with Dynamite because they have such a range of different kinds of characters. Definitely Vampirella and Red Sonja have been constants throughout. And in the first series, we went to Mars slash Barsoom a little bit and saw Deja Thoris and John Carter get zombified. But now the gang is most of the series takes place on Barsoom because in the second series, the dead of Earth have been taken over by evil Sonja, which is what we call Red Sonja after she assumed the role of evil Ernie by killing him and Hell, his boss, in the original series. But she's not really down to clown with the whole Hell's Assassin thing. So she's kind of ceased hostilities on Earth. Unfortunately, for the cosmos, Earth is not the only planet, and Mars has its own zombie problem.
Oh,
And Mars has its own goddess of death.
right.
Issus, whom John Carter heads such as myself may recall, debuted in the Edgar Rice Burroughs novel Gods of Mars. But she's back and deader and madder than ever. And now she's got a host of zombies at her beck and call. And a fun thing that we're doing. What's fun is that because Dynamite has such a deep bench, we've been able to add new characters every series. And this, our latest edition, is perhaps my favorite, which is Tarzan.
It's so cool.
So we're sending Tarzan to Barsoom, which weirdly you would think is something that has happened a lot since they're the two most famous Edgar Rice Burroughs creations, yet I find is very rare. And at least that I've discovered. And even though our beloved John Carter and Deja Thoris have already long ago fallen to the zombie plague, in fact, John Carter was the first Dynamite hero to get zombified in the original series, there are other Barsoomian heroes, possibly of the bloodline of John Carter and Deja Thoris, that Tarzan can encounter. And Sonja and Vampirella and her sister Pantha are back, as is everyone's favorites, General Battlefields, Captain Future, and Jane, I should say, also plays a significant role in this series.
And what about Evil Ernie? Is he still...
Evil Ernie was released, is one of the few people in the series who got what he wanted, which is he fell into dust once Sonja took over his responsibilities, and he is returned to the merciful arms of oblivion.
I gotcha.
Where he belongs. However, Smiley is still around in the form of Sonja's sword. He is possessed. He's no longer a button. He's now a sword. And it's equally obnoxious and irritating, though.
That's why we love him.
Exactly.
And tell us a little about the art on this.
Well, Vincenzo Crudo has just done a terrific job from the very beginning. He does a really great job with all these different genres, and he's constantly surprising me. The greatest thing, Joy, as a comic scripter, is to see how your artists interpret your scripts in cool ways that you yourself never would have conceived of, and that's definitely the role that Vincenzo's had in this series. And now he's got airships and Martian apes and
yeah, he really gets to
all of our terrestrial jungle friends of Tarzan.
It's awesome.
Space battles. It's just the insanity. We've left. The series is too crazy just to be contained on our small planet Earth. It's now gone interplanetary.
Right, it really is. And so is that like a direction of where the project, the series is heading toward building towards the next level of it, or is there more, more in the back of your head that's percolating for future?
I've done a ton of zombie comics, and the thing about the genre is that, like, whenever I think I'm tapped out, I always think of something new, and I don't know if that necessarily says as much about me as it does the fact that this is the zombie thing is such a primal concept that you can just apply, like superheroes or sword and sorcery or anything else, that you can apply all these different things to it.
Sure, probably both, probably you and also the world at large. Well, that's very cool. Is there a favorite moment you have, like in the first issue or something like that you could tell us about?
There is. I also, under the category of things I feel like I didn't come up with, is that because it's Tarzan, we need to have a Lost Valley, and that meant we had zombie dinosaurs. That meant we have it's Tarzan versus a zombie T-Rex is the main focal point of that first issue, or as I prefer to call him, the Z-Rex.
I thought that was awesome. By the way, I read it. I was like,
wow. Oh, awesome! Thank you. Yeah. No, it's fun, and our Tarzan, my interpretation of Tarzan, much not unlike what I've done with the Barsoom stuff, and you see some of this in some of the movies, like the Christopher Lambert, the Greystoke Legend of Tarzan flick, is that Tarzan, not unlike Frankenstein's monster, actually learned to speak by reading books or learn English, like from these old like primers that were lying around the tree house, right, that his parents built before they were killed. And where his ape mother Kala found him. Well, so the whole me Tarzan, you Jane kind of monosyllabic Tarzan is entirely an invention of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it's not really in the books, even though it's become the most common thing. So I sort of took that to the extreme level, to the point where our Tarzan talks like a posh late 19th century English gentleman.
I meant to bring that up. I thought that was a fun twist.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just people like, and also Jane is from Baltimore and is like a little more street tough. In the novel, she's from Baltimore of like, the genteel sort of early 20th century. Our Jane obviously is from modern Baltimore and is a little more, stepped out of the Wire or something.
That's cool.
And is a little more tough and even more. She certainly talks tougher than Tarzan. But yeah, so it's fun to sort of interpret these characters in new ways, particularly archetypal characters like Tarzan. And yeah, him versus the Z-Rex is probably the highlight of the first issue for me.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, we look forward to it. And we'll be talking again soon, I'm sure.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks. Ask your local comic shop to pre-order your favorite cover to Dynamite Never Dies #1, or multiple covers if you're a real Dynamite diehard fan. The premiere issue is coming in April, and by ordering in advance, you help guarantee more Dynamite thrills in the future. Thanks.